What is up, YouTube? It is the Ville Outdoors here. Today is April 27th? No, April 29th of 2024. I am here in Maryland, on the eastern shore of Maryland, and we are going to be trying to target some fish species I don't have yet for my life list. The trick is to find these guys. We got to be fishing at night for the most part. The bugs are pretty thick right here, and they like that I have my headlamp on. So there's gonna be a lot of bugs flying around, and it's gonna be dark for a majority, if not all, of the video. So I apologize for that, but that is how we were gonna target these fish. So hopefully we can find a few of what we're after. I'm not gonna say what we're after quite yet because I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, hopefully in this creek we can find some fish and add to the life list. We are currently at 149 species, so we're going to be trying to hit 150 by the end of this video, hopefully, if all goes to plan. So enough with the talking, let's get bait in the water and try and catch these fish. Well, we got our first fish of the day, and it is a little bluegill. That is not what we were after. I may end up saving that guy for bait, so we'll see. Alright guys, we got ourselves a darter here. Good chance this could be our lifer swamp darter. So I'm going to go ahead and take some shots and let this guy go. But let's get some good photos of this guy. Alright, I can pretty much confidently say that this guy is 100% a swamp darter, and that would be species 150 for me. But there are other darters around, so let's see if we can capitalize and catch another one or two. But swamp darter should be the only darter that are found in this creek here. So we got this little guy unhooked here, and we're going to send him back on his way into the water he goes. Alright guys, we got another one on hook and line here. Believe this to be another swamp darter. Definitely has a swamp darter look to it. We go ahead and take another shot, and I'm going to let this guy go. There's another worm there, so we'll put that in the bait bag. That is swamp darter number 2. Glad I finally got this one on the board. Been at this one for quite some time now. Alright guys, species 150 here, the swamp darter. Time to get a release on this guy. He's gonna wake up soon. There he goes. Back into the murky depths. There are lots of these little darters here in this creek, hiding in the shallows. There's another one right there. Another one right there. Another one right there. Another one right there. So they're just all over the place here, and I'm glad to finally scratch that one off the life list, because that is one we've been at for quite some time. But still more species to catch, so let's see what we can do. Look at this big old frog that's here on this log, or I guess you'd call it a rock. It's right there. Big old bullfrog. Alright guys, we just got another new species if I don't lose it in the weeds. Let's get into safety here. This right here, my friends, is the other target species for this spot. That is an eastern mudminnow. My first eastern mudminnow in species 151 for me. Caught on hook and line. I had dimmed the headlight a little bit, waited for the brush to move aside a little bit, and we got our other target species from this spot. Now I can head over to my next spot for a margin mad tom and try that out. But that is the eastern mudminnow here. So let's take a few good shots of this guy and let's let him go. Alright guys, there he is. The eastern mudminnow in all his glory. He's got a little bit of weeds on him because he just took a dive and tried to escape from me. But I scooped him back up with my hand, and now he's in the photo tank. So let's take another good shot of him before we kiss them goodbye. Alright, time to release our eastern mudminnow. So we're going to pour the water out the photo tank and hopefully he comes out. There he is. Alright, photo tank on the ground. Last look at our little mudminnow there. And we're going to go ahead and let him back in the water where he came from. He is good to go. Alright, so mission success so far. We got 2 lifers on the board. Now we will head over to another spot and try for our next target. Alright guys, we have made it to spot number 2, and we're going to be looking for micro catfish species here at this spot. So we're going to walk upstream and look in the deeper pockets with kind of woody, rooty structure. And that's where we're going to try and find our little catfish at. Very quiet at this spot. Not much sound other than me walking through the creek here. These fish are supposedly pretty light shy, so the trick is going to be spotting one before they get spooked and putting a bait in front of its mouth. Oh my god, that's a beaver. Right there, beaver. Holy cow. It's the first encounter I've had with a beaver, and maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe there's a dam up ahead. Well, we know if we hear a giant splash, that's a beaver splashing its tail. Alright guys, right before we were about to leave this spot, I saw a nice tessellated darter, so I had to try and catch it, and he just fell out of my hands. So that's what we got here. Little tessellated darter. He's a little breaded up now, but we'll take a shot of him and then we'll let him go. Alright guys, made it to my next spot. I've not seen the micro catfish yet. There's a little pickerel of some sort here. I'm going to see if I can try and catch it. Oh, he just took the bait instantly. Oh, and he fell off. Dang it. Wonder what that was. Probably a red fin if I would have to guess. Alright guys, potentially a pirate perch here. So I'm going to try and catch that real quick. There we go. No, that was a nice pirate perch too. Dang it. Slurp the worm up, no problem. Is that another one there? There looks to be another one. Smaller. And in a harder to get to spot. I'm going to try dragging the worm out in front of him. He doesn't like the light very much. Got him. Come here, pirate perch. There he is. Yellow belly pirate perch. Alright. Species number 4 for the night. Let me get him. There he is. Pretty little guy. I think that's better than my one I caught when I was here last year. My second ever pirate perch. We're gonna go ahead and take a shot, and then we're gonna release this guy. Alright, we have our pirate perch unhooked after he absolutely engulfed the bait. We're gonna go ahead and let him go. He's off to swim another day. The pirate perch spook pretty easy under the light, but if you can get a tanago with a little piece of worm before they get spooked, they'll pretty much take the bait 9 times out of 10. Still not seeing our little catfish friend. Doesn't help them to spook, stirring up all this silt on my way down the creek. And this leafy stuff, that's where the pirate perch hide under during the day, and then they'll come out at night to feed and do their other pirate perch activities. The pirate perch got split into different species. So there's yellow belly pirate perch, which is the pirate perch near me. There is black stripe pirate perch, which is down south a little bit. And I don't know the other common names off the top of my head. But those are the 2 that I know. I've only caught yellow belly pirate perch. A little pike species here. See if he'll take the bait. I got him. Let's see what I do. Looks to be a baby chain pickerel, but we'll take a shot of him and figure it out. There's a possum staring around at me right over there, and I haven't seen much activity other than the few mad toms I unfortunately spooked. They're very skittish in this spot, so I think I'm going to head back upstream and pay close attention and see if there's any mad toms I don't spook. If that doesn't work, then we're gonna go to the main creek and do some bottom fishing for catfish again. But this time, bigger catfish. Alright. So it looks like I'm going to miss out on margin mad tom, which is okay because I have those more local to me. So let's see if I can get a repeat species here. There's some sculpin down here. There's a sculpin. And it's a decent one there too. So this is technically, right now, a Blue Ridge sculpin, but someday it might be described as its own species, that the Delmarva sculpin is a potential. But there he is, pretty little guy. Alright guys, we got our little sculpin friend, and we're gonna let him back in the water where he came from. Maybe one day he will be his own species, but for now he is just Mr. Blue Ridge sculpin. I still count armchair lifers, so they're called, on my life list. It's species that are potentially going to be their own species one day, but exist as one combined species for now. So I still count that one because who knows when they're ever going to describe it, and I could be gone by the time that happens, so might as well get the species while I'm still here. But with that note, we are going to get up on out of here and try and go get some catfish. All right guys, here we are at our next spot. We got our St. Croix travel rod. This is the Triumph, I believe it's a 7.6, 6.6. This is a 4-piece rod. On here I got the Penn Battle something. Penn Battle 3, 3000 reel. Got 17-pound fluoro on here. And then I just got a little egg sinker, barrel swivel. Then we got a little length of line. Then we got our little piece of bait on there. That's just a little tiny piece of bait, but hopefully be enough to catch us something. I do have other bait fish there if I need to use them, but we're going to start with this little piece and see if we can get any action. Not sure how deep it is out here, but we're going to let out some line. Set that kind of loose, and we're just going to let it sit there for a while, and we're going to hope that a blue catfish will take the bait. Guys, I think we got something on, maybe. Oh yeah, he's putting up a decent fight. I think that's our target species, guys. Wrap it up in the line. Try and flip them up. There we go. That looks to be it. That looks to be a blue catfish. We'll take some shots to identify, but I believe that's the fish we were after. Alright guys, last look at our catfish here. This should be species 152. The blue catfish probably weighs about 3 or 4 pounds. We're just gonna throw them back over here. You're not supposed to let these fish go because these are invasive species, but unfortunately I do not have anything to take them home with to cook them up, so we're gonna have to let them go. Now I'm thinking about it, we should have brought a towel with us because my hands are pretty ooey gooey slimed up right now, but that was on our first piece of bait. So let's try and get some more. I didn't even really feel like a tap 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 bite. It was more of just a aggressive take and run, and then that was that. Whew, that was fun. Let's try and get another. Guys, we should have a fish on here. Oh yeah. Smaller guy, but it's a fish. We should be able to flip this one. There we go. That should be another blue catfish there. We will take that. Our second one of the evening. Pretty cool. Take another shot at this guy, and then we're going to let him go. Alright guys, I think that is going to be doing it for today's video, or tonight's video, depending on what time you're watching this. We started out fishing a little spillway of a lake, and that ended up producing our first ever swamp darter for species 150, and then shortly after that I found species 151, the eastern mudminnow. I didn't really explain too much about how I was catching the mudminnow or how I tried to catch the mudminnow, but basically it was under an algae mat right up against the shoreline. I saw its head exposed, but I couldn't get an angle on it, so I waited a little bit and I moved to the other side, and its head was becoming visible just enough, and I dimmed my headlight because they are spookish to light, and thankfully I was able to get that fish to bite. I saw 2 mudminnow, one I spooked and the other one I caught, so that was pretty cool. And then we hopped over to another creek and we added a few more repeat species for the video. We got yellow belly pirate perch, which I caught at that spot last year. That's when I got my lifer yellow belly pirate perch, but that was our second whatever, so that was pretty cool. We also caught a little chain pickerel there. I believe we ended there with a Blue Ridge sculpin, which possibly someday might be split into the quote-unquote Delmarva sculpin, but not at the moment. So, you know, we're not going to rush that, but we still have it counted on our life list for now. And then we hopped over to the main creek here, and we ended up catching a blue catfish on a bottom rig by using some cut bluegill re-netted at the very first spot where we got the swamp darter and eastern mudminnow. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit in today's video. I know it probably wasn't the most enjoyable video being in the complete darkness the whole time, but you know, due to the nature of these fish, that's kind of what we got to do, is fish in the darkness, because that's when it's easiest to catch them. I don't really like fishing in the dark too much because, you know, it's a little bit eerier, but if you're going to be about the species game, you gotta get out of your comfort zone sometimes. So that's what we did here. It looks like nothing's going to pick up our last piece of bait, so I'm going to go ahead and reel this in, and then we're going to be on our way home shortly here. It is just about 2:15, or probably past 2:15 right now. Approximately 2:19 in the morning. So if the ETA is correct, we'll be not getting home until after 4:45, which is a little bit longer than I wanted to be out, but you know, it's alright. I probably could have stayed out for even longer. Alright, toss this bait back in the water and pack things up for the day. Alright, that'll do it. So if you did end up joining today's video, despite it being in pitch black darkness, I would appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe. We are over 1,000 subscribers now, so thank you all who have supported the channel since the start, and thank you to those who have just started supporting the channel. I appreciate you all very much, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching me fish here and there, and occasionally I catch some things, but it's mostly just fishing. Anyway, I will be seeing you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors.